What's going on, everybody? So the time has finally come. Next week is the 2021 Academy Awards, and it's about the right time for me to give my finalized predictions for who I think is going to win in each category. So anyway, let's just dive right into these Oscar predictions. First, I'd like to say I'm not going to go into all the predictions I have for like the smaller, obscure categories, like live action short, documentary short, live animated short. Those I am going to predict, but I'll predict those on Oscar night. So I'm going to start with the ones that I think are just locks. Ones that I don't think there's pretty much any chance any other film is going to win besides the one that I pick. Best animated feature film, Pixar's Soul is going to take that single-handedly, unanimously. There's no chance in hell any other film is going to get that. I mean, obviously, I would love to see Wolfwalkers win, which is a film that I actually have seen in preparation for my top 20 animated films list. I actually really loved Soul, to be honest with you. But I'd honestly prefer Wolfwalkers to win, just because it's more of a traditional animation. We don't really see traditional animated films win this category anymore, so for that reason, I would like to see Wolfwalkers somehow give a giant upset to Soul and win the category, but I don't think there's any chance in hell it's going to happen. Anyway, next lock, actor in a leading role. I think Chadwick Boseman's going to take that. And yes, a part of it I feel like has to do with his death, his really tragic death. Caught everybody off guard and honestly just awful in so many ways. But I will have to say this. I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom the other day, and he's actually pretty amazing in that film. He gives an incredible performance there, and it honestly just made me even more upset that he's no longer with us because he had a really bright future ahead of him, and that's clearly presented in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Of course, I'm rooting for Anthony Hopkins to win the award, just because I genuinely feel he gave the best performance of that year, but also his performance is honestly one of the best performances I've ever seen in my entire life, to be honest with you. His performance in that film annihilated my soul. But with that being said, I actually wouldn't be that upset with Chadwick Boseman winning, just because of the fact that I just said that he is pretty phenomenal in the film, and he is definitely, in my opinion, the second best performance, right behind Anthony Hopkins. So it wouldn't be really that upsetting if he won, even though, again, Anthony Hopkins, I feel like, truly deserves it. So the next lock is for best sound. It's no longer split into sound editing or sound mixing. They just combine the categories just to be sound. And that's going to go to Sound of Metal. I don't think any other film has any chance in hell to beat that. Obviously, it has brilliant sound editing and sound mixing, so that's the reason why I pick it as a lock. Best visual effects, I think is going to go to Tenet. That's another lock. And Tenet truly deserves it. One of the best things about that film was just how brilliant the visual effects were. I mean, obviously, I did enjoy a few other aspects of it, but I do think the visual effects and just the direction of the action, utilizing those visual effects, I think is what really elevated that film. And also, its concept and everything like that. So another lock I have is Daniel Kaluuya, an actor in a supporting role. He's going to win that award comfortably. I don't think anybody else just can really compete with him in that category. And I believe that's it. Actress in a supporting role, I don't think is a lock, but I think Yoo Jung-yoon in Minari has an incredibly high chance to win that award, so I'm picking her, Minari, to win that. And I think that's basically it for the locks. So let's just start going down the list of the other categories. So you have actress in a leading role. This is actually, I think, one of the most difficult categories that the Oscars offered this year, because it's really between Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman, Frances McDormand in Nomadland, and Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And I was shuffling between those three for quite some time. I didn't feel confident enough to actually pick one. Earlier, I picked Frances McDormand, and I think the very first one I picked was Carey Mulligan. But as I was saying Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, I honestly think Viola Davis is going to take that award, so I'm picking Viola Davis. Because it's just a really transformative role that obviously I think she's excellent in. But it's the kind of transformative role that I can see the Oscars really eating up. Plus, she also won the SAG Award when competing against these same actresses. So I think it's going to go to Viola Davis. She was really great in the film. So cinematography, I'm going to give that to Nomadland. I think the only one that stands a chance against it is Mank. I would not be surprised if Mank won that award. It was actually tough for me to pick Nomadland, but since it won in the BAFTAs and other previous award shows, I felt like I had to pick Nomadland, even though I honestly think, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Mank, I do think Mank does have the most impressive cinematography, but I think the Oscars are gonna pick Nomadland. So next up, we got costume design. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is the film I'm gonna go with, and honestly, I'm only going with that because of previous award shows. The BAFTAs also gave it to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but honestly, I can see that going to Make or also Emma. Emma's a period piece kind of film, and usually they go to period pieces, so I was struggling on who I was going to give this award to, but I'm going to stick with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I think that would be the smarter choice. So next up, we have Best Directing, and honestly, I think this is the best category out of all the categories that they offered this year. Not in terms of, like, it being really unpredictable. I think this category is more predictable than others, but I just love everybody that they nominated in this category. Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, David Fincher for Mank, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. So, yeah, I think this is a brilliant category. Honestly, kudos to the Academy for nominating Thomas Vinterberg. That was an amazing thing that came out of left field and really shocked me. But as much as I'd love to pick Thomas Vinterberg for the upset win, or even Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, I'm going to give this to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, just because, again, she's been winning all the awards up until this point. I don't see anybody else kind of coming out of nowhere and taking the award away from her, so I think they're going to give it to Chloe Zhao. So up next we have Best Film Editing, and I'm going to give that to Sound of Metal, because, again, some of the sound editing kind of goes hand in hand with the film editing in the film, and I think that is going to be the safest pick for me to choose. But honestly, it could either go to The Father or even Trial of the Chicago 7, because Trial of the Chicago 7, like, a lot of its energy not only comes from its directing, but also just how it's edited together. And as well as The Father, even though what makes that film stand out incredibly well is the acting. But it is a well-edited film. I would like to see The Father win some awards, but I only have one category that I picked The Father in, and y'all will get to know that in a second. But yeah, Sound of Metal, Best Film Editing. Then we have Best International Feature Film. That I'm going to give to Another Round, because I just don't see any of these other films having enough steam or having enough buzz. I really can't say what, in terms of quality, what I feel about them, because I've just never seen any of them, which they're called Better Days Collective, which I believe is a documentary. The Man Who Sold His Skin, and Quo Vadis Aida. That's definitely not how you pronounce it, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those films, but Another Round has been getting a lot of buzz. It's the only one I've seen, and I do think it's an excellent film, so I really hope it wins. Next up, we have Makeup and Hairstyling. I'm also going to give that to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Again, I don't think this is a lock, but it's been winning a lot lately, and I just think they're going to give it to that film. And also has just really great makeup and hairstyling. So if it won, I would not be surprised. So I'm picking Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I could see something like Mank coming in winning that, same with Emma, but I'm sticking with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So Best Original Score, that's going to go to Soul. That's kind of a lock, but I don't really want to admit it because I want Minari to kind of swoop in and have that upset win against it, because I just love the score to Minari. I love Minari in general. That was my second favorite of the Best Picture films. The Father was my number one, but yeah, it would be amazing for Minari to come in and win, but unfortunately, I think Soul is going to win that category. Not that Soul had a bad score. It's a pretty good score, but I think Minari was just much more moving. Just a lot more of emotional composition that really resonated with me. So, I don't know. I don't think it's going to win, so I'm picking Soul. So next up, we have Production Design, and I'm going with Mank. This one, again, is more likely going to go to Mank, but there is a chance that, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or even Tenet could come up and swoop that award. Which would be kind of cool. I saw Mank. I like the film. I'm not that huge on it, but the production design is impressive. Just like the aesthetic quality of Mank is probably the most impressive thing about it. But it would be cool to see something like Tenet swoop in and win that award. But I'm going with Mank for Best Production Design. So up next we have Best Adapted Screenplay, which is Borat, The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger. I'm giving that to The Father. That's the only award that I really see The Father winning during this Oscar season, which is kind of a shame to me because it's a film that is obviously my number one out of all the Best Picture films, and it was just one of those brilliantly acted, honestly really well directed, and brilliantly written film as well that I think just deserves a bit more awards, but I just don't see it winning anything besides Best Adapted Screenplay. And even that's a little bit of a stretch because Nomadland, I believe, is the favorite to win. So, I don't know. I mean, if Nomadland won, I will be, honestly, just a little bit upset. Because I do really love the writing in Nomadland. But, honestly, I don't really think it compares to The Father. The Father, to me, is kind of like on a whole other level. But, yeah, The Father, Best Adapted Screenplay. So now we have Best Original Screenplay. This is a really tough category for me to pick. Because, honestly, to me, it's only between Promising Young Woman and The Trial of the Chicago 7. The Trial of the Chicago 7 might actually win the award because it's just a very talkative and just like dialogue-based film. But it's not really an original concept. Like, it's basically a biographical kind of film that's just written in this really energetic type of way. But Promising Young Woman has the more original concept, and I'm hoping that, you know, by the grace of the cinema gods, that the Academy will take that into account and consider, conceptually speaking, that it is more original. So I'm going with Promising Young Woman. That's the film I'm going with. The Trial of Chicago 7 has a chance to win it, and I would be a little bit upset if it won, to be honest with you. Not that it's a poorly written screenplay, it's just I want the award to go to the film that I feel like is more fitting, and again, I think Promising Young Woman has a more original concept, but that's what I'm going with. So now we're moving on to Best Picture. This is for all the marbles, and this is actually a pretty tough category. You have The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of Chicago 7. So, Nomadland would be the safest pick. That would be the one that I think, if you're a really smart and safe person, you're going to pick. But that's not what I'm going to pick. I'm actually going to pick Minari. Because I just feel it in my balls, this tingling sensation that's either testicular cancer or it's the cinema gods giving me the feeling that Minari is going to take home Best Picture award. But it's an incredibly risky choice. Most of the time, the Best Director award also gets the Best Picture award. Obviously, I told you I think Chloe Zhao is going to win, so I'm kind of going against the grain and going against the odds by picking Minari to win. But there are plenty of times where the Best Picture winner wasn't the Best Director winner. Green Book, Spotlight, Moonlight, those are perfect examples of films that won the Best Picture award without winning the Best Director award. So I'm going with Minari. I would be ecstatic if it won. I'd honestly be ecstatic if The Father won. Like, if that just had a huge upset victory, I would be one happy motherfucker. So, and if Nomadland wins, like, I'm not going to be that upset because I really did enjoy the film. I believe I gave it an 8 out of 10. But I just, again, like, I feel like a film like Minari and The Father are, you know, just like either a leg above it or just on a whole other ballpark. But anyway, those are my Oscar predictions. Please don't forget to share all of your predictions in the comment section. I would love if you guys did that because it would just give me a little bit of perspective. And also, as always, I love hearing what everybody has to say when it comes to anything film related, really. So yeah, I mean, that's all I gotta say. So if you really enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film related content.